That's what I mean. Of course, me and you talked every other day, so I wanted to get you in here, bro, so that the way the people can hear you, man. You feel me? Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
Well, what's up?
okay, so for me, man, I wanted to know for the people also, but uh, what inspired you to become an artist in your life?
What inspired me to become an artist? Like a recording artist, or just an artist, just in general, like
Yep,
an
recording
artist.
artist. Yep.
Specifically, a recording artist. That just kind of, I guess, like Lupe Fiasco, "Enemy of the State" mixtape. That was like the the actual like, hey man, I'm gonna start like recording this. I think I could get Lupe on Fireman, because he killed Fireman, Lil Wayne Fireman
Uh huh.
on there. He killed it. And I was like, I think I could do this. And then he had did what was the other joint that was on there that was like, when he rapped all the way turned up.
Uh huh.
And so then I recorded on a little computer, and then that's kind of where the recording part started. I think the recording artist kind of seeing that as something that was like actually like a possibility, that probably came through. I don't know. I would say like at that time, like everybody was like putting out, free mixtapes and stuff. That was like 2009, like 2008, 2009.
Uh huh.
And so it was like mixtape crazy. So it was just like, oh, I'm going to put this mixtape out on YouTube, and people
Right.
liked it. And I just kept going. So I
Right.
don't kind of blossomed into, that. But to extend as far as like an artist, I think the recording artist part for me, it's a specific like medium among like a bunch of different ways to be creative. Like, like I believe that we're all artists. And so
Right.
if you're making something or you're creating something, I would say like the inspiration from that probably just uh, was more like in elementary school, and then definitely in music in middle school. I was in the orchestra, for from age 10 on to like on to all through high school, and so that's where kind of the music art form kind of started to really build like there.
Okay. Definitely. So then, we get into because we met like 2010 or like late 2009 or something like that. I know it's coming on a decade, right? And
Yeah, yeah, I guess that would be like, yeah, like the summer of 2010.
yep, I think it was the summer 2010. And so we meshed really well, and we've been friends ever since. And also, music brothers. But you got into the world of CHH, which for those who don't know what CHH stands for is Christian hip hop, right? And
Yeah.
was that like the first thing, like, boom, I'm gonna represent Jesus on record, or did you make other music prior to that?
Oh no, like from my first record, even on that, like coming off the Enemy of the State.
Uh huh.
I mean, that was at a point where that I was like, you know what, maybe I need to like get back to my Bible. So
Okay.
I had started like rapping like what I was reading, you know what
Okay.
I mean, and a lot of the truths and the wisdom stuff that I was reading, and I was trying to exude that in my art form,
Right. Right.
the Christian hip hop, like from what I knew of Christian hip hop growing up, like in church, was it was like they taught us like that it was best listened to exclusively, like
Yep.
and that led in people like we had to hide, listen to other types of music, and I'm sure that's gone back even before, even in any genre, even back to like jazz, or way back in the day when we went to go play jazz, that was the devil's music, that
Right.
type of thing.
Right. Right. Quote unquote
Um,
worldly or
so
secular.
you're right. So like that part, I would say coming up with the content, and then I was involved in the church and stuff, and so like it's there. That's the place to showcase faith based music the most. That's honestly where the audience is, and whether that's for, or whether people uh, agree with how that's how the mission should be. Some people believe that that type of music should be evangelical and go out into the world.
Right.
How it looks though is that it's inside the building for most of what I've seen in my life. Growing up in the church and as an adult, um, and so like that title. came like with, I think, exposure to specifically certain websites that were promoting that genre, you
Okay.
know.
Okay. So now we get into your first album independently distributed was Run, right? And then
hmm
from Run, another
Before
album
that was, oh yeah, yeah, I guess that's yeah,
album,
my
right?
bad, bro. Go
And
ahead.
then
Sorry.
and then we go into another album, LV Envy, right? You go from Run to LV Envy, and then to Fly Exam, right? Is that how that the albums worked out for you, right? Because I know you had mixtapes in between, like Occupy Mondays and things of that nature, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So yeah, that so I guess so the albums will be Run. Yeah, 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 that's it. Run LBNB into Fly Exam.
okay. So when you go from Run, LV Envy, independently distributed, then you get signed to Humble Beast. What was that transition like from being independent, doing your own thing, to then being with this label, this independent label that is pretty well known in the Christian hip hop industry? How was that transition for you?
Right. That transition for me, the transition was something that I was definitely ready for, as far as like the speed of like how everyone at the label worked. That was something that I was looking forward to as far as how the structure was working.
Uh huh.
And, going on tour was super, as far as, live performance and the places I went, with the label, my first two tours to be able to learn, to be able to experience, like, earn my stripes, pay my dues, pay your tour dues. But it's like you're actually watching like, a startup company in an independent music market that is shifting and changing into streaming. You're actually there to be hands on with people who are leading. So that part was like the shift, the amount that I got to learn as far as industry was a definite like spike. Just
Mm.
in my own like personal, I think, development as an independent artist and as a professional. Um, so that as far as like the day to day for being an independent artist, and like because like I had like a team and already had a collaborator,
Yep.
in Christian Padron. We were already kind of doing our duo thing,
Yeah.
prior to signing. So, and even with Fly Exam, I'd already been writing that
Yeah.
prior to being signed with the label. And so the art project part, just kind of the momentum of what we were creating, that kind of was always the same.
Okay.
Like,
Definitely.
there were, the label definitely, there's like the 360 video for 10 to get in.
Yeah.
That was that was, produced by Portland and Thomas. And so the label definitely gave me some boosties, and it's as far as, amplifying what I was already doing.
Right. Right.
Sometimes you be working hard. It's a struggle. You eating ramen, or you're not eating at all. Like you over here like skipping a meal to maybe put down on a beat. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
And and you feel like you're just working so hard. And it feels like what you're doing sometimes as an up and coming like independent artist, or even a coming back independent artist, or however life hits you, right?
Yep.
You are you're working so hard, but it seems like you know what you're doing, but you're not seeing the results.
Right.
And so when you get that amplification from any type of entity, like, and you get to see, okay, I'm louder. Oh snap! There are people that okay, I'm going to keep going. That's a huge encouragement. So
Man.
that's one thing that I greatly appreciate from my time at Humble Beast, working with them on that album was definitely a lot of what has just helped me to be a better independent artist, and as the market is changing again.
Yep. Then you go from Fly Exam to taking a break. Even showing people on Instagram you got a job, and you got music though. You got features and everything. But as far as putting out another album, it was kind of in between time, and then comes like some ridicule, and just like a bunch of like crazy stuff. Now, when it goes from Fly Exam to this transition of basically taking a break for putting out a project, what was that like for you? Because man, when when you told the world, "Hey, I am a homosexual," it seems like people just like try to throw you out the window, bro. You know what I mean? And then also saying, hey, like I'm not putting out an album, but still go check out my music. You know what I mean? So how was that transition for you as well?
Yeah, that was, I mean, that was definitely, I mean, with the album, with the new album, or with the album that's out now, Domino, like that, this album is actually written nearly chronologically to just all phases of that time period of that transition, because that was a whole mouthful of things to happen in a little amount of time.
Correct, correct, correct.
uh, so I'll say like partly with, well, to go to the question about taking a break from music, um, I think that there was, sometimes things, things, I'm learning, I guess, that things in your life, uh, others will take their perspective. They always take their view of what you are, who you are, because they're not you. They're not with you all the time. They just take their perspective.
Yep.
So it seems as though like the public perspective and a lot of feedback that I was getting during that time while I was, working in engineering
Mm-hmm.
was, man, I heard you quit or you took a break. And technically, like, I just took a break from live performances.
Yep.
Like, I think people were taking it as I wasn't writing or I wasn't, making music. And so even like the music that was coming out in that time was all music that I was making during that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was more
Um,
like I said, you had features, but you just didn't drop another album. You know what I mean? So that's what
right.
people look like. Oh, when's the
And
next
that
album?
transition was, go ahead.
No, it's just like when's the next album? But when I look at your track record, bro, you dropped the album every 2 years. It seemed like, and then sometimes in between there, you did give us some mixtapes. You know what I mean? So I guess that's what it looks like. However, you had a bunch of features, and yes, there was no live shows at that point in time, and you did have a job, a great job.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. In that time too, like, I mean, that was a crazy just time period just in what we were all going through. I mean, I think a lot of, even like with even like coming out publicly, which actually really didn't happen. Like, I guess the way that it seems to me is like there's like when people come out publicly, there's like this letter, and then they get, they do a report. They call the news outlets and let everyone know that I am coming out. They write a letter and stuff, right?
Yeah.
like I didn't do that. Like,
Right. Right.
um, it was like people were like, "Are you?" So wait, why do you? That's like, "Are you? Are you gay?" It's just like, "All
Yeah.
right, yeah."
Yeah.
Oh my God, he said yeah, and then it was screenshots, and then boom, and it just went. And it's
Right.
like, oh, that's interesting. The treatment that I got from, a lot of people, you know what I mean, but specifically like the first responders
Uh huh.
of a lot of the hurt and the hardship of going through that process were, Christian people for sure,
Yeah.
almost exclusively.
Uh huh.
Um, which was a very trying experience for sure.
Yeah.
And it was really rough. It was really rough to go through just what was going through in regular life, just personally, but then all of us. I mean, we're going through like 2016. That was like one of the worst years for the country. There's all kinds of like just different things that we're going through, even as a nation, as far as like identity and conflict, and how people are speaking to each other, and so added, with added that was definitely an interesting transition, but the transition resulted in something that I'm most proud of, to be living in, and excited for the future. So
Now, when people turn around and say, "Oh, he's HIV positive," that's what he gets. Sin. For the wages of sin is death. What do you say to that? And how do you encourage others who are going through or went through what you went through? Like, how do you encourage others? And what do you say to that statement?
that response,
Yep.
like that, like someone saying that, like
Yep.
the wages that they throwing that scripture at you.
Yep.
That's one of the most insensitive things that you could tell someone who just found out they were sick.
Yep. Absolutely.
Like, that's absolutely not what you tell someone. that comes to your house and says, I'm sick. But it seems that because of, uh, uh, the fundamental hate,
Mhm.
whether it's tolerance or, it's like this, like whether it's tolerance or it's like you feel like spiritually mandated to treat people like that from another perspective. If the shoe were like, if you actually were in someone else's shoes
Mhm.
and you were actually sick and someone just said that to you, you wouldn't be like, yeah, brother, you're right. You'd be like, yo, that's like, I don't know if I can cuss here because I was holding my son,
It's open, bro.
but yeah, huh?
It's open. It's
It's
open.
open.
Say
Yeah,
what
that's
you like.
fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
That's
how do
over
you
and over again hearing it as a church too.
how do you uplift and encourage someone that's going through that, or has been what you've been through? Because obviously you had to be encouraged, but like, what's your words and like, how do you comfort someone?
Oh yeah. Well, as far as in that regard, because I believe that times are getting better as far as the stigma. Where I found the safest place was uh, for me it was the H Health Foundation. So when I went to get tested, I went to they have a thrift store called Out of the Closet, and I went to there and they do free testing and they do free rapid testing. So I got my results back within 10 minutes, and then after that, I went to go and go seek out information from organizations that that are health like that are actually uh, can tell you what's going on and can teach you about the condition,
Mm.
and not just from people who are afraid of uh, horrible ways to depict people in the 80s,
Yeah. Right. Right. See,
or
that's
in a continent, these horrible stereotypes
yeah.
that, make us treat others like unconsciously sometimes
Right. Right.
evil.
Can you drink after them? Can you shake their hand? It's like, and then HIV and AIDS are two different things as well. You know what I mean? And people don't really see that either. Um, it's crazy. Now, let me shift gears. Domino, what's happening,
Yes.
man? What's good? You got the new album. It's already out. They can find it everywhere. I personally heard it on SoundCloud. You feel me? Man, I'm feeling the album. You feel me? Other people are feeling the album. I seen some reviews. They feeling
Yo.
it. Talk to me, man. What's happening? Cause we finna get into about 10 minutes worth of music before we end the interview, and I get on to Brian Harris. But bro, talk to me about this album real quick, man. What inspired you to have this? And then you got some mix and mingled in here, but also some new music. What's happening with Domino, dog?
I'm very excited. If you're listening, and you like to check out the album, you can. It's the link is on all social. It is Domino on all streaming outlets. It's everywhere. JGivens Domino. Go check that out. Shout out to SoundCloud, like you were saying, IT. To this to the followers on SoundCloud, because actually for a lot of people, or a handful of us, I had the album that I kind of built that album using SoundCloud as a tool, so kind of taking
Mm-hmm.
it back to the roots of, like, the beginning of SoundCloud, I'm really pleased with my experience on there. So shout out to the SoundCloud listeners for sure, because SoundCloud listeners got it first.
Hey.
But it's it's good, man. I'm so pleased with how everyone is taking it in, and just being able that a lot of what I was attempting to translate in it sonically. It's hard to do things that are experimental, because but it's rewarding, because while you're doing that, you're also breaking down insecurities in yourself. So it's like, okay, I think I want to sing, but I'm not going to sing. I'll just sing in the shower. It's like, oh no, I'm going to go outside, sing in front of everybody, and see what So there's a lot of cool parts that are really encouraging for me as an artist in developing that sound that people are enjoying it. So I'm like to the moon.
Bro, I'm so excited for you. And we really needed this project in this climate that we're in right now, bro. It's something that I can see, just the growth in you. I can see just the excitement in you and the artistry, bro. Like, it never stops, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like you keep growing.
Yeah, it never stops.
I hear your vocal, like you singing a little bit more, man. You feel me? Like I feel it, bro. I feel it. So I want to get into your music. I'm going to play. What is this right now? There he go again. 5011 spin.
Oh, there you go. Yes, yes, yes.
Let me,
Just since we talk about all that singing, just so they know, though, don't come for me. This is great, great. I love this.
man, you are locked and tuned into Hot Seat with IC Jones on hot7025fm.com. And right now, we about to play There He Go Again by JGivens. Let's go.
Yeah. There he go again. There he go again. 5011 spins, yeah. 39 to a scene. There he go again. If y'all spin, trust me and y'all spin. Yeah. Spend it with y'all friends. There he go again. Your melanin, cinnamon, tinted skin is winning in 2020. Oh, there he go again. Can I live? Glad I rap. Can I raise a kid? Can I get my dog to assist? Listen tends to resolve all the qualms and the quips if I flip the bag. Yeah. There he go again. There he go again. 5011 spins, yeah. 39 to a scene. There he go again. If y'all spin, trust me and y'all spin. Yeah. Spend it with y'all friends. There he go again. Your melanin, cinnamon, tinted skin is winning in 2020. Oh, there he go again. Can I live? Glad I rap. Can I raise a kid? Can I get my dog to assist? Listening tends to resolve all the qualms and the quips. If I flip the bag, bullet protection from lawless pigs. React like Alka-Seltzer and diamonds to biz. Steady stacking up for some of your peers. Edward 40 water while someone is cutting onions. I wonder in tears. I'm crying out for queers. And there she go again. You not gon' move us backwards, you redacted. Use your selfish attitudes, you black, you too galactic, you the bracket. Cataract contracted Savannah. Battle crack on camera. Slapped on the Spangled Banner. Peace to Newark, Jersey. Post 30-30 your planets. Built to capacity. Witness tragedies. What's a trip is from the casualties. My lonely glasses scene. I made it from usher to alien with all of my faculties. Givens. Yeah. There he go again. There he go again. 5011 spins. Yeah. 39 to a sin.
Yo. It's an echo. That was not.
It's an echo?
I don't know if you heard it over there, but it was right.
I did a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I want to get into. Make sure y'all go download Domino by JGivens right now on all streaming platforms. I am about to get into What About That? All right, JGivens, What About That on his new album Domino. Let's go.
Could be infected, should go get tested now. Boy, what you talking about? Say what you mean. Living with this physical sickness gets too complicated. To give up a pack of cigarettes and this shit get just too expensive. Listen to the tone, type the pain. Pimpin' pepper people with sprinkles, all looking type of privilege. And even though you don't like that fame, boy, I know you got to stay in your lane, nigga, I don't even bang. I just live around you, love you, and try to listen. Now what about that candy painting? What about that stay in school? What about enrolling later? You ain't really gonna wait but cool. Or what about that photo scraper for your labor? Stack that too. What about that changed you? What about that came true? Now what about that Nipsey hustle? What if a nigga was a king of Jews? And what about hemp rolling papers? What about that thing with dude? And what about that 40 acres and that paper and that mule? What about that changed you? What about that came true? What about that money though? Where did all the money go? It ain't all about money now. To the money go. Stack gun and fall, give it away. And if I got it, ask me what you had. Reckon I could be wrong, that's how the story goes. Keep it 100 falls, stack 100 roll. It didn't go, but it's all your money gone. What about that money though? If your
Turn me back in. Yo, Jay.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know what exactly is happening, but I think they get the gist of it. It has some type of echo going on in the station. It's nothing to do with your music. Your music is amazingly mixed, sounds pleasant, it's great. Those are two of my favorite songs right now. I also like Let Me Out. But I have my other guest in here, so I'm about to go to commercial break. And, man, I just want to thank you, bro, for coming in. You smell me? Like, thank you for calling in this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Did you enjoy yourself on Hot Seat with IC Jones?
I did.
For sure,
I
man.
did. It was wild growing up as a child in the Sin City lifestyle.
Hit me now. Man.
Big on IC Jones all day.
And for y'all who don't know, JGivens created my Butt God Situations logo. He also created my Wings, Microphone, and Crown IC Jones logo. And he actually mixed a few and recorded a few of my earlier songs, man. We was right there in that good old room, man, doing our thing. You feel me? Infinite. A couple more, you know what I mean? So I appreciate it.
Sin City Bread, bro.
Sin City Bread. I got you, man. I got you. But